Do not adjust your screens, whether you're watching on your phone, whether you're watching on your laptop, your iPad, your Stone Rock tablet. It is Out of Pocket with Michael Davis. And yes, we are here back on this Tuesday afternoon for your Out of Pocket fix on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel. This is our second week at our new home. Just want to say a super big thank you to all the support that we have gotten. I'm super excited about today's episode because, as you can see, we have Josh Burton from Everything College Basketball, and we have another special guest. So I might as well, we have so many stuff to cover in just a quick 30 minutes as you guys wind down from work. So yeah, let's play the intro package and let's get started. It is time to get out of pocket. I'm your host, Michael Davis. And right now, I am joined by the guy from Everything College Basketball, Josh Burton. Josh, it's great to have you in. And I was going to talk some baseball, and we are going to talk baseball. We are going to do our usual Top Rope Tuesday. But, dude, Cooper Flagg, my guy who has committed to Duke, showed up and showed out against Team USA. Dude, he was playing against guys that are legends in the basketball world. You can see him on the picture defending LeBron James, of all people. Josh, you are a basketball brilliant mind. So as our YouTube comments start flying in right now, mouth it off with Mike saying we got beef about the MLB. That's okay. Some W in the chat. He's already, oh, wow. Some saying Cooper Flagg hype is a joke. Josh, I mean, correct some. He feels like he's out of pocket.
Well, I'm going to partially correct him because Cooper Flagg's the real deal. He's 7 foot, might as well say 7 foot, handles like a guard. He's kind of that unicorn that basketball is going towards. You look at Chet Holmgren. You look at players look at Wemby, right? I mean, obviously he's not 7'4", but basketball's geared now towards if you can find that 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot plus guy who can shoot the three, can handle it like a guard, can attack the rim, block shots at the rim, kind of do it all unicorn. That's where basketball's headed, and Cooper Flagg fits that mold. He's going to be phenomenal for Duke. The reason I say I will go half correcting is because the hype is real, but he is right. It is a scrimmage. It was impressive, right? Because he's playing against the best players in the world. But how hard were these guys trying? Was LeBron and was AD and was Devin Booker and Joel Embiid and all these guys, were they really trying to make a statement? Or were they just trying to get their legs going and get some run in ahead of the Olympics here next month? So if you're Cooper Flagg, you got to take it to him. You've got stuff to prove. LeBron and them don't have anything to prove. Now, again, if this was a real game, would he still do the same thing against the best in the world? I don't know. But the hype's real. The kid's going to be phenomenal at Duke. I do have some concerns about him. Obviously, frail body type right now has got to put some muscle on. You worry about injuries, especially bigger guys always have kind of lower knee, ankle, leg problems. But the kid's phenomenal. He's going to put a show on at Duke this year, and he's probably going to go number 1 in the draft next year.
Oh, 100%. Dude, I'm excited as a Duke guy. I will be as biased as I want to on Out of Pocket with Michael Davis because this I am excited for him. I haven't been this excited for a prospect since Zion Williamson came to Duke. And people are all in the comments, some saying just losing the round of 32. Marcus saying losing in the Final Four or Elite Eight. That doesn't dictate how good Cooper Flagg is or isn't. That is a team aspect, how they gel together as a team. And Josh brought up a great point. Would he have put up these numbers or, play this well if this was a playoff game against LeBron? Probably not. But the fact that Cooper Flagg was hungry and he did show up rather than just, fall into the pressure, I feel like, Josh, that's a good step in the right direction for the young man.
Well, I mean, it's always good to show up, right? When you're playing that type of talent, it's good to show up. And he had no choice. He doesn't have the luxury to go in there and kind of half play, if you know what I'm saying. Like a LeBron and all those guys on Team USA probably did, if we're being honest. Cooper, again, I go back to this. His skill set is just going to take college basketball by storm, presumably next year. Now, there are issues like we talked about, not only with kind of his physical frame and staying healthy, but how does Jon Scheyer use him at Duke? Because they've got an extremely loaded recruiting class coming in. He's going to play with a lot of top talent. Will he get the same type of shot quality, play designs for him like he would in high school and AAU, where he's kind of ball dominant, everything surrounded by or revolves around him? We'll have to see how Scheyer uses him. I would imagine a lot of pick and pop spread offense where he can take a big off the bounce or pick and pop, shoot threes, transition, all that fun stuff. You got to trust Scheyer will do that, but there's still that question mark. But just the raw talent, the kid's going to be phenomenal. Like I can't see a world where he doesn't average at least 15 and 8 at least while shooting 36, 37, maybe 40% from three. And he's going to be number one pick. He could probably at Duke next year average, as long as he's healthy, he could probably only average like 7 and 7 and still go number one because of the raw attributes.
Dude, I'm excited for it, even though the disrespect from the UNC fans and the YouTube comments. But Peyton, your brother right there saying, yeah, guys, oh yeah, I didn't do it right. Yeah. We will be talking some Top Rope Tuesday a little later on this episode. Let me talk to you. Peyton and Josh do phenomenal work. Everything college basketball. We do boom broadcasting. They were in a boom period this past spring. They were doing like midnight live streams, with breaking news. Even though we got into a huge week-long argument about Blue Bloods or whatever. It's okay. They still do phenomenal work. And another podcast that does phenomenal work. You've seen them in the comments. I've reached out to them. I finally have gotten them on the show representing Booking Like a Mark. I got Eric here on Out of Pocket for the first time ever. And I wanted to bring both of you on. Eric does a wrestling podcast. We'll talk about wrestling. Josh does a basketball podcast. We just did that. But both of you are baseball fans. And so I wanted to give you an avenue because what we have here is, I think this is a new era for Major League Baseball. They announced their all-star lineup, and there are 32 first-time all-stars in there. Eric, I think your dog's barking in the background. He's super excited about baseball. Are you excited about baseball as well?
I think this is going to be a good all-star. I've seen the home run derby participants too. A lot of new blood, which is going to be a lot of good eyes on the product. I personally, I'm a Mets fan, long-time suffering. I'm digging Garrett Crockett with the White Sox. Being in the all-star game, you're instantly is going to raise his stock, especially with the trade deadline at the end of the month. He's going to have all the eyes on him, and we're going to see who wants to become friends with him real quick to try to persuade him onto their teams. So it's kind of all-star game's fun, but when it gets you have people trying to get their way in and, hey, come to my team, and everybody remembers Ohtani last year chatting it up at the all-star game. So I think this is going to be a good year for it.
Dude, I'm excited. It's actually in Texas. That's why I'm repping my Texas Rangers World Series. They only have 2 All-Stars on the team right now. So a little disappointed. It's a sub 500 season for the Rangers right now. I'm hoping they pick it back up, and we'll be talking baseball a little more this summer as we, get out of NBA free agency as right before we get into the NFL season as well. We'll be covering a little bit of baseball. We have the trade deadline here about 3 weeks from today. But Josh, when you look at this MLB All-Star game, are you happy that there's so many first-timers in this game?
So real quick, it's funny you talk about your Rangers because I was playing my MLB The Show franchise. I was in year 3 last night. Of course, my Reds, as everybody can tell. I did knock off the Rangers in Game 7 to win the World Series last night, so pat on the back for me.
Okay. And then you can turn off your Xbox. You can turn off your Xbox and go to bed. Good for you.
PlayStation, PS5. Let's get it straight there. No, but seriously, I just had this discussion yesterday with a friend of our show of Everything College Basketball, a close friend of mine, Johnny Stroud, big-time Cubs fan. And we were talking about the influx of baseball talent and how I actually think for the first time in a while, baseball's in a good spot. If you look at stars right now that are in their youthful prime and upcoming stars, you look at a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. from Kansas City. The Royals are having a phenomenal year right now. Bobby Witt, I've seen people, baseball writers and other kind of media personalities say that if you started from scratch today, everybody in the market, you did a free or a draft, most of them would take Bobby Witt Jr. with the number 1 pick. That's including Aaron Judge and a lot of this because you look at the dude, he's under 25. He's hitting 300. He steals bases. He's the only man that technically clocks faster than Ellie De La Cruz. He hits for power when he needs to. He plays a good defensive shortstop. He can also play third base. So you look at Bobby Witt Jr., single-handedly almost elevating a Royals team that's been down. You look at my guy, Ellie De La Cruz. He's starting to fix his swing a little bit, but one of the more electric young players in baseball right now. You look at other guys, too, who did make the All-Star team, but you look at guys I enjoy watching as them. Onel Cruz. Just there's so much influx of talent. We didn't even mention, and I know he's hurt, like Ronald Acuna Jr. I love the talent in baseball right now, the youthful talent coming through. And I actually think for the first time in a while, the future looks really bright for baseball, assuming all these guys stay healthy and stay on this path. We're talking about over the next decade or so. I mean, even Paul Skeens. I didn't even mention Paul Skeens, the most electric pitcher right now going. He's the first number 1 pick to make the All-Star game the very next year after being drafted number 1. We got all this young talent that's kind of bubbling to the surface at the same time. Imagine when they all blossom in the next 10 years, both AL and NL loaded with young talent.
Dude, I'm excited for that. And you mentioned Paul Skeens. Like, I mean, I ain't even have this in the rundown, but like, especially being the first guy to, make the All-Star, game, right after being a number 1 overall pick. Do you think he is the next, big marketable guy in Major League Baseball? Because, I mean, we had Shohei Ohtani. I think Ohtani's still marketable, but it never hurts to have another guy. Eric, could you see Skeens being like a new face of MLB? Like, a lot of NBA fans think went beyond.
Listen, that Central is wide open. The Cubs have tanked. The Brewers, no one really knows what to expect of them. That Central is wide open. And especially now with the Phillies, a lot of, they're getting hurt. I think everything is wide open. And I mean, a couple weeks ago, you had every team in the National League within 3 back of the wild card. Now everything's starting to, go up and down. But I think this is going to be a year where September baseball is going to mean a lot more than September baseball in the past. And you're going to have, when you have fresh blood and you get a taste of it, you're hungrier. And I think some of these teams are really going to compete and show up in September. And I think it's going to be the year that you almost need to be watching every single game because the playoffs are going to start September, not in October.
Dude, I'm hyped for the playoffs. Hopefully Texas makes it. Josh?
Oh, just real quick to his point, the NL, the Cardinals, as we record, are in the last wild card spot. They're in 6th with a 48-42 record. The Pirates, they're at 43-47. The Reds are at 43-48. The Cubs are at 42-49. Basically, you have 6 or 7 teams within 6 games, we should say. I don't have time to figure it up here, but within 6 games of the final wild card, it's going to get wild. And you're talking about trade deadline, like the Reds, for instance. We need a right-handed bopper in the outfield. There's been rumors of maybe Luis Robert, Lou Bob from the Chicago White Sox. If I'm the Reds management, get on that. Nick Krall has to get on that because you play in a hitter-friendly park. A guy like Luis Robert, who's still under team control for the next couple years, that could be what could put a team like the Reds in the playoffs. So fine margins, but I think especially the NL, it's going to come down to, like Eric said, it's going to come down to the wire. I think it's interesting times right now.
Dude, it's going to be nice to watch, and that's why I like summer, is because like you get a little break from NFL, you get a little break from NBA. I mean, there's summer league going on, there's training camps, but you can really focus in baseball right when we're at the All-Star break. Okay, who are the teams that are showing up? Who are the teams that can make a run? Again, we'll be talking a lot more baseball, and hopefully the Rangers do just a little bit better. We're slightly under that 500 mark. I think we're like maybe like 6 or 7 games out of the wild card spot right now. Yeah, about 6 or 7 games, if I'm not mistaken. Because baseball, with all the stars that they have now in the game, they're getting up, they're rising up the ranks, and it's in a boom period, just like broadcasting is, just like the WWE is as well. If you are a wrestling fan and you watched Money in the Bank this past weekend, we finally get to talk about it. It's Top Rope Tuesday. John Cena actually announced his retirement, and mouthed off with Mike, yes, that is booking like a mark that you see for the first time on the channel. Me and Mike talk about you guys. You guys do fantastic work in the wrestling podcast world. Oh my gosh. Disclaimer, the views expressed by Eric do not reflect the opinions of the rest of the Booking Like a Mark team. Well, let me get Eric's opinion on this. Like, John Cena announcing his retirement. He's doing a farewell tour in 2025. You guys are notorious about how would you rebook things that, wrestling might have gotten wrong, but I'm going to ask you, a year in advance, how do they get this tour right?
Well, as soon as he came out with the towel and I read it, I'm like, did I miss something? I mean, I do my reading before events just in case, I'm not a fan of the jump scare, so I like to see what's going on. And when I saw the towel, it's like my time is. I'm like, wait, what? And the way his face, I'm like, uh-oh. It was like no one expected it. If I'm almost certain everybody there was expecting certain things. Certain things you can, I'm trying to talk in code without ruining it in case people live under a rock, but there's certain things that people expected would happen, especially with the cash in. No one saw Cena. No one saw that. And the more I've thought about the past couple of days, it reminds me of Ric Flair. Ric Flair had that long stretch where each match was his last, and they were able to go to Mania. The good part about Cena, it's going to last, but it's going to go past WrestleMania because it's going to be a January, December thing. So legit, you have a chance. I mean, to me, in my opinion, and first I should say this, that I actually am a Springfield College graduate, like John Cena. So coming from a D3 school, everyone's calling the greatest of all time is insane because I can tell you the size of that campus. It's maybe 2-3 blocks long. And when he started, it was before they built their huge athletic complex. So he worked, their gym was probably in a basement. So the fact that he's gone to be the person he is with his career and everything, it's just insane to think of where he came from.
Wow, dude, that's pretty cool. Y'all went to the same school, have the same alma mater.
Yep.
I mean, dude, gosh, like you and I both, like we kind of grew up on the John Cena era, did we not? Like, what did you think about John Cena coming out as a surprise and just being like, yeah, I'm hanging them up?
I mean, I remember, let's see, I was 13 when Cena debuted, right? And he did the challenge with Kurt Angle, the ruthless aggression and all that. And to see the different, his evolution over the last 20 some years has been really funny, because obviously everybody knows Super Cena and then the Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks and all that. Now, since he's been bigger in Hollywood and he only comes back sporadically, he's universally loved. So I find that kind of interesting. And I think it's good for him. Like, whether we appreciated him, thought he was overpushed, overbooked, whatever, to see him get to go out on this where people universally love him again, I think it's really cool. And I think it's time. He's what, like 47, 48, something like getting around that age. Yeah, getting around that age. He knows, and he's getting bigger opportunities in Hollywood with movies, TV. And I did think it was interesting, to Eric's point. I listened to him in the post scrum there after Money in the Bank. And he mentioned, he goes, I want to clarify, it'll be my last WrestleMania. WrestleMania is not my last match. We'll go to December. And then he did say after, he said, after that, I'm hanging the uniform up. You'll see me next time in suit and tie. I won't be doing anything, no guest referee, no manager. He said, when I'm done with the physicality, I'm done with the physicality. So, I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's time. It's deserved. It'll be interesting to see how they tell that story. I would imagine we get at least one more CM Punk match. I know he lobbied for it last night. I'd like to see him one more time with AJ Styles, because those two had amazing chemistry. Other than that, give some new matches, try to put some new people over, and let the dude go out the way he wants to.
Dude, and that's what we can spend a few minutes talking on here on Out of Pocket, because I mean, you have a year. You have a year of fantasy matches you can book. I mean, I look at, Braun Breaker seems like an obvious opponent that
100%. 100%.
Braun Breaker, John Cena. WrestleMania 41 will be the 20-year anniversary of John Cena winning his first world championship. He beat JBL WrestleMania 21 in the Staples Center. It will always be known as the Staples Center, by the way, out in Los Angeles. We've never gotten to see one-on-one Randy Orton versus John Cena at a WrestleMania. Why not have that? Like, if you're looking at WrestleMania, even though it's not going to be his last match, but it's his last WrestleMania, would Randy Orton fit as a good opponent, Josh, or do you think somebody else would?
I think.
I mean, of course. Sorry, Eric. Of course, Orton always fits, right? They always fit. Those two will always be linked together. It all depends on what they do with Orton. Yeah, I mean, is Orton breaking off and finally going with Cody by then? Who knows? Yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice, but if it was there, I guess I wouldn't hate it. I would like to see Cena do something fun with, like, to tie it back into Kurt Angle. I'd like to see him do something fun with Chad Gable. It don't have to be at WrestleMania, but on this retirement tour, do a little program with Chad Gable. I think that'd be fun. Of course, let Gable win, of course, but I don't know, Eric. What do you think?
So I look at it as the booking aspect as this too. Everyone needs to realize this year for WrestleMania, it's the first time ever they've never had an Easter weekend. And Vegas wanted an Easter weekend because they know it's going to be a bad draw. They're going to try bringing people in. So if we have an Easter weekend, that's going to help. So now everyone knows in advance Cena will be at Mania. So this is also, if you think of it, the business aspect, this is huge. This is pure strict profit for him, because now people are going to start looking into hotels for Vegas and everything in advance. And now Vegas, that just went from having its, how that holiday never does well for them. They're seeing green, and it's not even 2025 yet.
Dude, Gorilla Toes would dominate John Cena. I mean, he claims that he can see him. Maybe we get Gorilla Toes versus John Cena at WrestleMania in a blindfold match.
I guess. Is Cena one of the ways that they bring up, like, a guy like Obafemi too? Maybe not even to, like, have the one-on-one match, but to bring him up to, like, have, like, a special tag or something like that. Like, I'm just thinking of outside the way boxes, because I guarantee you Cena on his way out will do the right thing and help try to elevate younger talent. Obafemi's a guy like Braun Breaker. If you watch him tonight on NXT, he is a guy that he's the future. So I can see him wanting to do something with a guy like Obafemi too and help elevate his stock right away.
Dude,
I got a question for you both, actually.
Yeah.
You look at John Cena has been on a losing streak Who's the first person who's going to give him the win?
I mean, I feel like it'd have to be like that first Raw
Yeah.
on Netflix where he's at. I mean, it could be something silly as like Chad Gable coming out to challenge John Cena. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Chad Gable, his first match on Netflix for John Cena. Josh, that's a good question. What did you think?
I have not. I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain. Maybe, see, I don't know. I was going to say maybe it's like a goofy, like an R-Truth or something, or like the Miz is healed by then and challenges him, so he gets another win to get a win back under his belt. I don't know. That's a really good question, actually. By the way, Cena kicks this retirement tour off at the Rumble, which they got announced is in Indy. So it's right here, 30 minutes from me, since I'm in Indiana. So I'm excited about that. That's
Are
a
you
good
going
question.
to
I
go?
don't know.
Are you
I'm
going
going
to
to
go?
try, bro. I'm going to try to go to all of them in Indy when they, over the years.
Dude, that would
Yeah.
be such a big thing. Now, I did mention Eric's from Booking Like a Mark, but the other co-host of Booking Like a Mark asked, with some of Cena's biggest rivals in AEW like Adam Copeland and Chris Jericho, is there any chance the companies make a deal for some special appearances? I mean, I don't see AEW,
No.
and here's
No.
why, because they haven't worked together on almost anything. Like, we've seen a healthy partnership between AEW and New Japan. We've seen a healthy partnership between TNA and WWE, particularly NXT. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to see Adam Copeland versus John Cena, or Edge versus John Cena one more time, because that's the feud I grew up on, I don't see that happening. It looks like I'm in full agreement right here.
Not a chance. Not in the current state. No.
Yeah.
I think everyone's too worried
about.
about throwing mud than trying to team up at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I do want to ask real quick. The idea has been thrown out on this retirement tour. Let's assume Cody keeps the belt to Mania and through Mania. Do you give Cena, and I could see Cody doing this and trying to keep somewhat of a babyface match here. Cena's leaving, give him a chance to break the record of, the Flair acknowledged record anyways. Do that Cody Cena match at a pay-per-view.
So
I think so. Why not?
I do too.
Let me top you one of them, because I mean, it's at the end. I mean, December, like, you could put John Cena up against anybody and yeah, it'd be great. But like, if Cody were to come out, or whoever's the champion at the time, and be like, hey, the one thing you haven't accomplished in your entire career is you haven't broke that record. Your final match, December pay-per-view, have it be, I mean, if Cody is the champion at this time, I feel like, that bloodline story could, go on and digress right there. Cody Rhodes, John Cena at the revived Starrcade pay-per-view in December.
That'd be cool.
Takers?
I'm down for that.
I'm cool with that. I actually like the tie-in there too. Something just came to me as well. You were asking about Cena's Mania match. Why not Jacob Fatu? I love, because Cena had the rivalry with Umaga. They could play off that. They're building Jacob. I'm a huge fan of his. Have been since I first seen him in MLW. I guarantee you Cena would not have a problem at this state of putting Jacob Fatu kind of, again, to that stratosphere next level. WB obviously sees a lot in him. Why not do Jacob Fatu and Cena? Story kind of makes sense because Cena's sort of tied into that bloodline thing anyways. Why not have Jacob Fatu, Cena, WrestleMania? It'd be a huge stage for Fatu or Jacob Fatu.
Dude, I would love to see that. Like, Jacob Fatu. I'd love to see Jacob Fatu versus anybody in WWE. And I'm glad we're getting it, because, I mean, the possibilities are endless for this John Cena farewell tour. It would.
One quick thing I was thinking too. You know how WWE right now likes to do long time storytelling. Where did he announce he was retiring? Money in the Bank. What happens if you win Money in the Bank? You have a contract for a world title match anytime, anywhere. Just imagine down the road, he wins a briefcase next year. They could toy with our
And
emotions every single month until December 31st.
well, that's the thing too. They could play with it because everybody knows the countdown's on until December. So it's like you got to be in this. You got to be there because you never know if he's going to show up. And they could even tease it, like if Gunther presumably whoever's champ on Raw, the World Heavyweight Champ, and Cody or whoever, anytime they get beaten up, it's like, Cena coming down to cash in. Who knows?
Yep.
That's definitely a heel move, though, too. Are we going to turn Cena heel? Because the super Cena babyface would not cash in on a maybe he turns heel. Maybe that's his final parting shot. We spent 15 years begging for it, so he's finally like, I'm going to do it before I retire. Yeah, Cody just got the heck kicked out of him by the bloodline. I'm going to pin him. Sorry, Cody.
It took 30 minutes for Josh to get out of pocket, and there it was right there. I was waiting for it. I knew it would come because I am so familiar with his work on everything college basketball. They do phenomenal work. He's the founder of ECB. Eric, the co-host of Booking Like a Mark. I mean, these are two podcasts. And guys, I am super busy. Like, I don't have a lot of time. But when I do, like, I love listening to other podcasts that are actually making a genuine effort towards like, hey, let's build a good show and let's just have people, come if they want to listen. And I'm one of those people who want to listen to the stuff like they're putting out. Josh with everything college basketball, Eric with Booking Like a Mark, all the shows that we're putting out on Boom Broadcasting. I will say Out of Pocket will be back Friday. We are going to take Thursday off. If you remember, I had Lodi on a Drop the Mic episode a few months ago, and he does a weight room revival every other month on the second Thursday. That is tomorrow, or that is Thursday, and I will be there in support of him and in support of the event. I absolutely love it. Hope to share more of my experiences there through the weight room revival as I go forward on Boom Broadcasting, because I'd love to share those stories with you guys. So that's why Out of Pocket won't be on air Thursday, but we will be back Friday. Who knows what will happen over the next few days? Maybe we'll talk baseball, basketball.
Hey, maybe you guys hit 200 subscribers so we get the stash going.
Yes. So I'm glad you brought that up. People, yeah.
No, go ahead and finish, and I'll take mine. Go ahead.
Yeah. Mouthing off with Mike. So he hosts the nightcaps Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays after the shows. Like he hosts the nightcap, does an incredible job. I was on the one last night. And he has different guests throughout the week. So if you guys want on, I'm sure he's looking for other guests as well. Mouthing off with Mike said, if his channel and Boom Broadcasting get to 200 subscribers, and Boom's about 60 away, his is about 70 away, he would shave his beard into the Dirty Dom stash. And that's just with 200 subscribers. So we also have some stuff cooking soon. I'll put you over if I want to put you over. It's okay. But yeah, Mouth Off with Mike, mustache, 200 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So go ahead and follow that. Sorry, Josh, didn't mean to cut you off right there.
It's good. We were talking about maybes, and I was just getting ready to say, maybe if you say his name, he will appear.
I mean, and Joe Hendry's been his face has been popped up. He says who knows what he'll do for 3.
Hey, can I throw out a quick spoiler that's been playing in my head since like Sunday with this?
What?
They keep on showing them. TNA has a huge pay-per-view, and currently the NXT champion has ties to NXT or to TNA from back in the day. Can we see will we see the NXT title defended at Slammiversary?
Oh, Ethan Page.
I think there's a possibility. I was actually thinking of Joe. Yeah, put it mildly. I think you're right, because I could see Joe coming after Ethan Page's NXT title on NXT here soon. So yeah, I was actually kind of thinking the same thing with you. And I think we see the Rascals too. Westy on NXT tonight as we're recording on Tuesday. He's going to let us know what his future holds. And the Rascals have been part of this whole thing here recently, being attacked on TNA. I think we're about to see that kind of crossover come back together, play out real soon.
Dude, that's exciting. Let's see what happens. And of course, mouthing off with Mike will be doing the nightcap. I don't know who his guest is, so it's a surprise to me, whoever shows up tonight. But yeah, guys, go follow Josh Burton, Everything College Basketball. Go follow Eric Booking Like a Mark. Go subscribe to this YouTube channel. I just want to see the Dirty Dom stash. Like, I mean, I just want to see the Dirty Dom stash. So, like, from the bottom of my heart, it would be super appreciative. Out of Pocket will be back Friday. And until then, we will see you next time. I'll drop my wrestling pod tomorrow afternoon. Jack Tatum interview. Wayne will be on. The host of Wrestling of Destiny podcast, Sean Lucas, will be on. And we'll have some more stuff throughout the week. So, yeah, we will see you guys back here on Friday for Out of Pocket.